As long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over.
Alright, let's be clear. I don't consider myself a hype man. In fact, I would say that I generally tend to hype up games that I feel deserve attention more than games that already have it. And yeah, I've been let down by pretty indie games before, Edge of Eternity being a prime example. These gorgeous games look brilliant in trailers, but playing them reveals an unfocused grouping of ideas that don't really come together. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 from developer Sandfall Interactive does not follow this trend at all. In retrospect, I hate that I've ever shied away from experiences based only on fear that they wouldn't live up to my expectations. I think the bigger problem is that I need to stop being a hipster, but we can unpack that in another video. For now, let's talk about how Clair Obscur Expedition 33 not only takes inspiration from the JRPG greats like Final Fantasy X and Lost Odyssey, but also acts as a beacon of hope for the future of turn-based combat in JRPGs. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is set in a time of hope and loss. Humanity is cursed by an entity known as the Paintress, who wakes up once a year and reveals a number that represents an age. Every person of this age will die, eventually wiping out humanity as a whole with each passing year. However, remember that hope part of it all? Humanity hasn't given up yet, and each year a new group heads out to face the Paintress and hopefully stop her. While progress has been slow, the expeditions inch closer each year to her lair, and now Expedition 33 has set out to try and stop her. It's here that players assume the role of Gustav, but upon arrival at the Paintress's island, they are attacked and split up. Many of the people on the expedition die in these early moments, and Gustav struggles with this new reality. His morale is defeated and is slowly regained as he discovers others might have survived. These early moments are critical to setting up the foundation of this story, but this game holds its cards close. Knowledge about the previous expedition, who these enemies are, and even the Paintress's full power are revealed over time, creating an almost ever-expanding world. However, that actually begins to shift somewhat as the party realizes they don't know everything about this world. While the demo I played only touched on this facet, it's clear that there's a much larger adventure waiting for all of us here, and I'm sorry for the overhype of it all, but this game is effing amazing. There will likely be plenty of deep dives surrounding this game, but for this preview, I'd like to highlight a few elements that stood out to me as brilliant. Let's start with the combat system. Being turn-based, I know there are players that have reservations around this system. Whether you're just an impatient gamer or someone who prefers more action-centric combat, your guess is as good as mine as why many JRPG series are ditching this system altogether. Anyway, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 takes a kind of Lost Odyssey approach, where players must time button presses to boost their attacks or defenses. Further, players can dodge, parry, or jump to avoid enemy attacks. These actions need to be mastered, given healing and revive options are fairly limited. Now, before I get in too far, you can turn off these quick time events and even make the combat easier, but I would fear that it would actually diminish the impact that this game is trying to give to the player. For example, in the introduction, you're supposed to feel that Gustav is at his breaking point, and that he is truly thinking about giving up in these opening acts. Say I was clearing out groups of enemies one after the other, I would think, my dude, Gustav, you're a one-man army. Just go march up to the Paintress and take her out. Why are you even sad? But the developers make these early encounters a little punishing, even through the tutorials, if only to highlight a character who doesn't think he's going to survive the rest of the day. It's these moments where I feel difficulty is key. As the blood splatters on the characters and you're completely out of healing items, each turn an enemy attack requires you to avoid damage, resulting in an experience that feels earned. Still, the length of fights is kind of kept to a minimum, especially if you utilize the strengths of your party. The attack system reminds me of a deck builder, where you can stack counters, and each character excels in both attack and defensive abilities, but they all play drastically differently. There are also strategies to boost the stats of party member attacks that lead to potentially one-shotting bosses if you manage to set it up correctly. I really enjoyed the reward of playing smart. Strategically using AP to plan out a strategy can turn to chaos if you miss a dodge or if an enemy adds a shield or something unexpected. The combat was fun because it rarely played out the same way twice. You can even exhaust AP to shoot an enemy's weak point and cause elemental stacked damage. Trust me when I say that there are plenty of ways to customize these characters and strategically align their skills for battles, but I'm not sure why their core stats are all so basic. As you gain levels, you can slot in stat points to level up your vitality, might, agility, defense, or luck. However, this is the same for each character, which is oddly basic for such a unique game. Within this system, there's no way to refine a character with stat increases to magic or maybe enhance their ability to stat counters. Still, there are these things called Pictos items that can be used to add special qualifiers and stat boosts to characters, with some requiring actions like perfect dodges or fire counters to trigger. This is likely the way that players will define each character the most, because the basic stat increases kinda make each character out to be the same when they aren't in play. Another exciting thing I'd like to point out about this game is how it's basically a better Final Fantasy X in terms of world design and pacing. There are even these open world style areas that aren't a hassle to explore, and a ton of secret routes and tough enemies that reward player curiosity. It takes what some of my favorite JRPGs in the past have done and evolves it in a more focused and fun experience. The environments themselves tell the story of expeditions that have come before. The team has crafted a world that feels magical and dangerous at the same time, and I loved that tension. There's so much in store that I have yet to see, but if these early hours tell me anything, this will likely be a Game of the Year contender, hands down. I actually have so much more to say about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but I'll save that for the review. All you need to know is that I was brought to tears several times in the game's early hours, and I'm honestly hooked. I loved the mature tone of the narrative that can be seen through the desperation depicted in the cast. Gustav's raw emotion of hatred towards the Paintress, balanced by his curiosity and willingness to hear reason, makes him a great vessel for this experience, and I can't wait to see where this adventure goes. And while I was hesitant to jump on the hype train of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I'm fully on board now, and I hope you can join me when Clair Obscur Expedition 33 launches on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC on April 24th, 2025. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
seems peaceful. As long as we don't touch the flowers.
Yeah, let's not get too sentimental. It's still a painter's creation. Putain! Damn, Maya, what was that?
It felt familiar somehow.
Gustav, we won't understand what's going on if we kill everything that moves.
Look, a red tree. The Gestural village must be ahead.
You know what Nevrons are capable of.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
I've been having nightmares. Being out here isn't what I expected.
Legacy can take many forms, right? Learn from the ones who came before.
And lay the trail for the ones who come after.
Wait, I hear something.
Get ready! Is that a Gestural?
I still can't believe they exist.
To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I just need one foot. Aha!
You can turn into a Nevron.
Bonjour, mes amis.
We need to cross the sea. Bulger said you could help.
All right. Ready to sail like a snail.
This is a much better way to travel. Firing!
We're gonna take down the painters, just the three of us?
I didn't take you for a coward.
I'm not a coward. Patrons! Us!
As long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over.
I'm so very sorry, my friend.
Voice